So let's look at this alien footage. To me, it always seemed kind of obvious whether it's fake or not. Sometimes when things are true, you're not quite you're not quite as sure, but it's easy to see when things are fake. And if we go back here to the alien autopsy stuff from 95 or 94, I was excited to see it. Kind of looks interesting in the stills, but then when you see the video footage, you watch it for 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and then you realize it's fake. How do you know when you see this that it's fake? Because we know that this unsteady cam, this handheld camera style, this reality TV style came to prominence in the 1990s. Before that, it was practically unknown. And of course, any kind of place where it would be used in a scientific setting when you're going to film something, anyway, the camera is set even today on a tripod because you're documenting this for scientific purposes. So this constant moving around, this instantly showed everyone, I guess, who was smart that this was a fake. But yet people spent a lot of time debating about it and talking about it. And I guess eventually it was declared a hoax, but just in the filming style, you can tell. I mean, see other little things like, it doesn't seem like a real doctor's place where they're performing this. It seems like you're crammed in the corner of a set and it's not even well lit. So this alien autopsy thing is fake just for the shaky cam. And I couldn't find the full footage, but I believe there's one section of the alien autopsy footage where the cameraman pans his handheld shaky cam, real dramatic, from the alien as they're cutting in up to the faces, the covered faces of the doctors and nurses, and then back down. Like, oh, we have to get a good reaction shot of the doctors and nurses for what they're seeing. That you would never do that if you're documenting this in a scientific sense, in a historical sense, for history, for science, to show what's there. However, I would say they seem like they probably used a real corpse or something for part of this, or something, or at least the model of it is not too inhuman. It looks sort of humanish, which makes it kind of different than some of the other alien interpretations. So it is a cool fake film at the very least. So then we come to this Skinny Bob stuff, which again, all this footage, it's like shot at the bottom of the ocean or something at midnight. It's hardly any resolution to it, but this came out before the era of AI, and it's like it's intriguing. This is from Infernally Divine site. Of course, it's gray and dark enough so we can't really make out the details. So that's convenient. It isn't shaky cam. There are some outdoor shaky cam things, I think, but the main footage of the alien is not shaky cam. The way it moves is intriguing, but maybe I'm being fooled by puppetry. And one of the other things is, and I don't know if this has been analyzed for that, but one of the way you fake footage is you film the footage and then you project it, either on a screen or on like a flat sheet. And then you have another video capture thing, re-record it. So that adds a layer of kind of age and blurriness to it. And I know that it was some Mexico UFO wave where somebody was faking it and doing this, and they were able to kind of scan in and see the threads of the sheet that the footage was being projected on to be refilmed. But this is the first part of this skinny bob thing. And there's this all kinds of sites that have tried to dissect this. How the eyes move, and then there's some other footage of stuff they don't know. So this is in the news, and I was thinking about all this because there's even more footage that came out recently. And Moist Critical said something about it. So here's it. More alien asleep, walking around. This is shaky cam, but I think they are saying maybe some of this was secretly filmed. Of course, we live in an era of AI, which means that, a lot of people thought that people would start believing a lot of propaganda and stuff because you can make anything, you can make any person do anything. But I think probably eventually it'll be the opposite. Nobody will believe anything anymore. So, just the biggest complaint against a video footage like this is that it's probably AI because we have it. And if our governments would dare to stand up to these giant companies that are stealing everybody's intellectual property to create these AI images and generation systems, there would be some way to track exactly. We could submit like a freedom of information request to Meta or X or whatever, and we'd be able to say, yes, your engine generated this. It's a little strange that there is no way for anyone to call out or double check what's being made in AI. And you say, wow, if they keep a record of everything that people are doing in AI, which they do, but if they do that, it'll have a chilling effect, and probably a little of that chilling effect is good because it will slow down people using it for schemes and scams and fake stuff. So here, but still, I can say it's all fake, but I love all this alien stuff. Look at that. Will I see this in my lifetime, this alien? Now, kind of the funny thing about all this, and I was reading the some book about Roswell recently. The funny thing about aliens and aliens abductions that makes me think they're all fakes or all fantasies of the mind. They're all fugue illusions, despite all the good evidence to the contrary. But if I would be the skeptic, I would say, instead of having a photo of an alien that came out, wouldn't you say something like, the only question I would have when I see this is, okay, does it have DNA? If it doesn't, or it has something similar, what are the amino acids that the DNA is constructed of? How is this constructed? Is it a person? Is it like they say a biological robot? And then probably even a bigger question than that, the first thing you'd ask is, how did you get here? Is faster than light travel in some way, either directly or through some kind of kludge or manipulation of time? Is it possible? Is it possible in normal time scales of 100 years or less to travel from the nearest star, Alpha Centauri, to here? Knowing the answers to any of those questions, that's real science. Like when astronomers take pictures of stars and things, that's of no interest. What's of interest to scientists, or like when they're look at the spectrometer, to see what elements the light was reflecting or whatever, so you could see what elements of stars are made of, the composition, or X-ray emissions, something like that. That kind of data is useful, and by the same reasoning, this kind of footage is not useful to anyone trying to prove aliens. It wasn't in the past, and now with AI, it's even less than before. So tell us something about AI. So when you are abducted, crazy middle aged lady, housewife who's been abducted all her life, instead of getting a message about world peace or too much population or something like that, which is pulled right from our own headlines, you should be asking, or they should be telling you something about their DNA or the nature of the universe or the answer to some sort of mathematical problem or the nature of pi. Not, it doesn't even have to say it in a real complex way. They can just say, well, yes, we can travel faster than light. It just takes a few days from our home planet and everybody travels around. That would be useful and give us some scientific new information to that we could then show this is a new concept of information we didn't have, nobody had before, and we're getting this from on high. That is more proof of aliens than something like this, even though this is extremely intriguing. So, now that's one of the strangest aliens of all, but what a channel. There's somebody who just says a few words and is super interesting in the way he says it. I hate him, but I'm also jealous. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to say about aliens today. And the bottom line is none of this is good information. And nobody's asking the right questions. The aliens aren't giving us any information. Anybody who sees this, first question, you'd know it was fake. But if you thought it was real, then you would say, okay, do they have DNA? That's what you'd say. Or how do they get here? They're traveling faster than light. The answer to any of those questions, either the DNA or traveling faster than light, are the most important information that humankind could ever get, because they would overturn or add to huge underlying scientific concepts of the way we think about the universe that we're in. So anyway, I'm still going to be on the lookout for crazy alien stuff, and please like and subscribe. I'm trying to give you some interesting takes with some information that maybe other people skip over when they're just trying to analyze the photo. There's bigger issues under it. Okay, bye-bye.